registering pretty high there. I wanted to ask your guest if you're familiar with the Hopi prophecy, the Hopi Indians of the Southwest. They have the Hopi prophecy rock, and I think in part of it, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but
sure.
They say that they kind of await the return of the lost white brother from the stars, and I didn't know if that had anything or any parallels to what you're referring to about extraterrestrials or anything. And I'll listen offline. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. I've delved into the Hopi prophecies, Black Elk Speaks, and others, and there's some very interesting Hopi prophecies. One which talks about the spider trails, spider webs in the sky, and of course something falling from the sky, this house in the sky, which could be construed as a space station falling from the sky, which we haven't seen yet. We certainly have seen the spider webs with the contrails. And I'm not saying other cultures can have prophecies. We've got the prophecies of Nostradamus, which we've referred to. Why I place great stock in the prophecies that I refer to is that they, as far as I know, they're 100% accurate 100% of the time, and they're not vague. There's a lot of specificity to them, which other prophecies don't. So, although I travel and read and I'm aware of, like I just mentioned, the Hopi prophecies and the prophecies of Black Elk, another First Nation person, I kind of keep them on the shelf, and I refer to them. But I really travel in the Judeo-Christian scriptures that we have, and I think they're very timely and very specific to what's happening on the world scene today.
Hopis believe in a third world war that will be basically started by India, China, Islamic nations, and Africa. They say the United States will be destroyed, land and people, by atomic bombs and radioactivity. And they say the Hopis in their homeland will be preserved as an oasis to those which refugees will flee. And it's kind of a scary prophecy.
It is very scary, very scary.
Especially if they've been accurate.
Interesting.
Next up, let's go to our first-time caller in California. Hello, Eric. Take it away.
Hi. How you doing?
Good.
Hi, Eric.
Hi. I had just in reference to the Hopis. I'm reminded of Psalm 19, where it says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows His handiwork," and on and on. Speaking of maybe ancient peoples that had to have the revelation of our great Creator given to them in another fashion, since maybe they weren't given the Holy Scriptures at that time. But the main point that I wanted to call upon was that Isaiah 13:5, where it says, "They come from a faraway place to the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of His wrath to destroy the whole land." So I just wanted to know what your feeling is on that scripture and where that might, if you're familiar with that, and where that might be applied to all of prophecy.
Very interesting. I'm actually flipping there now as we speak. I would do this. I would take that off the show. Give me like a day to ponder that. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Good question. It's one that I haven't really looked at that carefully. If you go to my website, just shoot me an email, and we'll take this off the air, and I'll try to come up with an answer for you.
Okay.
I'm not Mr. Know-It-All.
Yeah, no, we can all learn from each other.
Absolutely.
That's a great
Absolutely.
thing. And that's
Good question,
why,
Eric.
I know, there's spirit of Antichrist out there, but, maybe the Hopis, maybe they knew something too, because, they were not, we're
pretty peaceful people from what we know of.
Yeah, we're only kind of accountable for what we know, and that's
right.
What's great about that scripture, Psalm 19, is it kind of, it kind of shows that we're all accountable. Even
Sure.
the guy in the great forest of the Amazon that has maybe never even read one dot or jittle in the Holy Word. But I think God has a place for him too.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So anyways, that's That's all. But yeah, I will.
Yeah, I'll follow up with that offline with you or online with you, and I'll shoot me an email with your email address, and I'll give me a couple of days, and I'll get back to you on it.
These prophecies, are they prophecies that will be or could be?
Interesting question. It gets into the whole free will thing.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, if we have free will and the prophecies are here, can we alter them? Can we change them? And my take on it is simply this: you've got this being outside the space-time continuum, and somehow he can access all points in the space-time continuum simultaneously. He can look at it all happening because he's outside of it. Don't ask me how he does that, but he can access all points simultaneously, and he knows that we have free will. We're on this course, and he sees what's going to happen. He's letting it play out, but at some point in time, he stops it. He goes, and that's of course the Battle of Armageddon when Yeshua returns. If you believe the mythos, I believe the mythos, but when he returns, the battle stops and the world changes. So if this being is outside our space-time continuum looking at this, he's basically telling us this is what's going to happen. And it seems like he's really right. His accuracy is just amazing. It's not Gene Dixon with 45% accuracy. It's 100% accuracy.
That's what's so bizarre about all this.
It is, very much so.
Next up, wildcard line, John in Long Island, New York. Hey, John.
Hi, John.
George.
Yeah.
Oh, how you doing, Lynn? Okay, just like the old saying, they say there's more stars in the sky than there are grains of sand on the planet. But there's definitely, just by law of average, there's got to be something out there. But I'm not sure if I heard you correctly. Did you say the aliens actually created us? Is that what you were saying?
No, I'm saying that's the great deception. Literally, that is the great deception. That's what we'll be told. If you haven't seen the movie Expelled, by Ben Stein, it is really worth getting, especially when it comes out to DVD. In it, he's questioning Dawkins, and the whole purpose of the movie is to go that the whole idea of Darwinism is intellectually dishonest in the sense that it's a theory that's not proven. Why can't we talk about intelligent design? Surely, if Darwin could see the complexity of just a one cell, he would realize that there's something going on. Or if Darwin maybe had known about the DNA, the deoxyribonucleic double helix strand, which is so complex, unbelievable. If he had known about that, maybe he would have rethought his theory. And Stein, at the very end of the movie, he's got Richard Dawkins there, the premier atheist on the planet. He says, okay, where did life come from? And this is Dawkins' answer, which is just astounding. He goes, well, maybe in a galaxy far, far away, billions of years ago. And Stein just kind of smirks and looks at him like, what are you talking about? Panspermia? I mean, it's totally absurd. He has no answer. He has absolutely no answer. And that's the danger of this whole idea of the deception is that the whole idea of panspermia, that somehow life was seeded throughout the universe, and then this higher group of civilization created us, i.e. ET, created us. And that's, in my opinion, is the coming great deception, that they will claim that they genetically manipulated primitive humans and that they started the world's religions. And now, after this cataclysmic event, which I believe will be a nuclear exchange in the Middle East, they will show us who God is. They will bring peace on the earth. And they're not who they say they are. It's part of a deception, in my opinion.
Okay, Lynn, do you believe if aliens do exist, which I'm about 99% sure, I never shook hands with one, of course, but if they did exist, don't you believe in the whole deal that God created everything, created the aliens too? He created everything. He's infallible. He's supposed to be around for infinity. He was always around.
Right. Well, C.S. Lewis has three novels. It's actually a trilogy. Paralenga, out of the Silent Planet, and The Hideous Strength, and he deals with this whole issue, the whole idea if there's extraterrestrial life on other planets, it would have to somehow dovetail into what we know. They would have to know the same creator that we would know, if the mythos that we're hanging our hat on is true. In other words, if one God created everything in this Big Bang thing, and he knows he's outside our space-time continuum, which is why the prophecies are so flippin' accurate. If he knows all this, and he has created life on another planet, they would surely know him. They would have to know him in the same way that we've had his calling card, like we talked about the Shroud of Turin. They would have to have some knowledge of him on some level, in my opinion. So we don't know that yet. What I'm saying